Life is never consistent. There will always be unpredictable variables. In an ever changing world, there is a constant the news. No matter how unpredictable life can be, news will always be there for you. Here at Ken's 5, the crew go beyond for the community. Ken's 5 is so passionate about the culture, safety, and care for the people of San Antonio. Unfortunately, most people are unaware of what goes on behind the scenes of your morning, daytime, and evening news. Today, we are going to show our appreciation for the crew of Ken's 5 by asking them what their role is and how it serves the community.
I had the amazing opportunity to visit the Ken's 5 studio to learn more about the team that brings news to San Antonio each and every day.
Every journalist has a unique story that has led them to serve as a messenger for the community. I spoke with a few of the journalists at Ken's 5 to see how they interpret their roles.
Here at Ken's 5, I had such a great time learning about different roles within the newsroom. And I even had the opportunity to interview some of the on-screen talent at Ken's 5, including meteorologist Roxy Van Rooten.
What is your role in contributing to the production of news?
Hey, so I'm Roxy Van Rooten. My role is MMJ, and I'm also a weather forecaster. So during the week, I report stories, I also shoot them, and then during the weekends, I report the weather.
What is the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
The most rewarding part is, especially the morning shift when you're the first person they see throughout the day, or most of the time they're just listening, they're not watching because they're getting ready for their day, being able to tell them, like, it's going to be a windy day, put on a ponytail, or grab a light jacket, grab a heavier jacket. It's nice to set the day for someone, and it just feels like a big responsibility and it's fun.
How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the local community?
I mean, local news is just so important. We're obviously always seeing, national news on our phones, but you don't know what's going on with our neighbors around the block. There's so many local events that we don't know about because we don't keep up usually with local news. So it's so important to talk about, what's going on, the events that are going on, or what you can support, and it's always important.
Also, during my time at Ken's 5, I had the chance to learn from multi-skilled journalist Earl Stoudemeyer.
What is your role in contributing to the production of news?
Hey, yeah, I am a morning reporter here at Ken's 5, so good to be a jack of all trades. So, working as a morning reporter here at our company, I'm technically what's called a multi-skilled journalist. So, what I get to do is help find stories, pitching them towards management. They pick what they like. Sometimes I'm assigned a story. I would do the research on what's going on, make the script, get the script approved, go on air, present the news to the community, and then whether it's anything on breaking news, they'll send me out to that. Sometimes I may go out on my own without a photog, running my own camera, even editing my own videos, always working on a deadline. Sometimes there's multiple deadlines for multiple shows, collaborating with producers. So it's a lot of different things with being a multi-skilled journalist I get to do every day.
What is the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
uh, the teamwork, the friendship, the memories. Um, I think it's really awesome getting to learn from a lot of people, especially in this business, people with more years of experience, going into different environments and situations, not knowing what to do or what to expect or what's going on. It's always great to have a listening ear or a mentor who can pass on advice on how you can navigate different situations to put your best work together.
How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the local community?
Um, it's so awesome. My influence really for what I do as a reporter is to always inspire others and motivate people to do good things in the world, know that there's good things happening. If I can influence you on the way that you think, the way that you perceive something going on in the world, it's nice to give someone a different perspective, a new angle to look at something. So as long as I'm either motivating you to see something new in your community or just to think about something differently, it really makes me feel fulfilled that I'm getting my job done to make you think and make sure that you're involved and engaged in the world that we're all a part of.
Morning anchor Audrey Castoreno also gave amazing insight towards the power of media within the community of San Antonio.
What is your name and your role in contributing to the production of news?
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Audrey Castellano. I'm a morning anchor here at KENS 5. And my contribution every morning is, getting in, jumping into the shows, talking to the producers about what's going on, what happened overnight, because they've been here a few hours before we have, what the shows are looking like being stacked, and then really just jumping into the scripts and really knowing your scripts inside and out as much as you can, asking questions, making sure you know the proper pronunciations, make sure you know background on stories. If there's any live interviews, doing some research, and really being another set of eyes for the producers because they have so much content to go over, and of course things get missed or slip ups. So you want to be that extra set of eyes to make sure before it goes on air that everything that's going across the air is going to be truthful and accurate for our audience because that's our main goal.
What's the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
Most rewarding part, I just love the fact that we're able to, bring information to our community that's essential for them, whether that be, where crime is happening, if it's in your community, making you aware of it, or if there's something going on and we can investigate it and look into it and really find people answers. I think that's what drew me to news. I really like the fact that we can hold the powerful accountable, and then just being a voice for our community because we live in these communities, we love the communities we live in, and we want to see them thrive as well. So I think putting on a good product and being truthful and honest and always putting a good face forward is so important in any news product.
Thank you. How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the community?
So I think news has a huge part in our community, especially when people are trying to find information. So we want to be that news source for people. Like I said, whether that's what's going on, positive or negative in my community, or we can be that person who investigates things for people. Because a lot of times, people come to us because we're the last resort. They've exhausted every other avenue, and they just can't get people to listen to them. And I think that's what I enjoy the most is being able to help be that voice for our community. And like I said, we're in these communities, so a lot of times it's our reporters, it's us knowing what's going on, living in these communities and being a part of them, that we're able to bring to light some of these issues or just get out and talk to people about what's going on in their neighborhoods, in their backyards.
Within a newsroom, there are so many roles and talents behind the camera that the audience never gets to see. So in my time at KENS 5, I was able to speak with some of these off-screen talents and find out a little bit more about what they do and how it affects the news that we watch. I first spoke with senior producer Brian Folsom to learn more about the process of organizing and planning when and which stories air.
I am the senior mornings producer here at KENS 5. So a day in my life entails basically I'm the overseer in the mornings. I help our other producers gather story content and forward our stories from last night or what we have developing off of, whether it be social media or other news wires, national or state. From there, like it depends on the day, after overseeing the producers for a little bit, I start to transition to if there's nothing overnight with our photographer who shoots or topical stories, like whether it be a fire or a crash or something. If there's nothing there, I start looking for our reporter to have what could be a possible hit for them, whether it be something in our Microsoft Teams database or whether it be in our planning calendar. So kind of there's like a halfway through the start of my day, I kind of transition like, okay, what can our reporters do? So I help them pick out the stories as well as with my position, I'm also having to listen to scanners on the desk and kind of like do all the traffic maneuvering. So uh, once once it comes time for air, once everybody has all their stories and written, I'm basically on the watch of going through the shows, make sure it's timed well, make sure there's no inaccuracies that I might have missed with our other producers, and also monitoring um, the scanners and our outlets that we have, like our fire response page or police page, for any kind of possible breaking news that would warrant to send a crew, a photographer, and a camera, not a reporter, to the scene. So that's during the show. After the show, um, usually in charge of cut-ins, which we do like mini 1.5 minute cut-ins from our national news, basically weather, traffic, and the newest news of the day. So that's kind of the mid post show afterwards. Before I leave, I just kind of get everything in order for the next day before seeing what we could possibly advance for a show tomorrow, or if we have like an interview set up for tomorrow, just making sure confirmations are with that. So that's basically my duties each day. Um,
What is the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
Most important part is definitely helping the community, like bringing stories that affect people that, you know, maybe they're overlooked in the community. So just kind of, personally, I like to all the animal stories, like to help our local animal community. We have, in fact, Tuesdays and Fridays we have our Humane Society in to try to adopt a dog. So some kind of, just the rewarding part is like if you have something that affected just one person, that shows you're making a good difference in your job, what you do. So, like I said, anything to help the community and also inform them, because there's a lot of misinformation these days. So, make sure you bring like the most accurate stuff and know that, hey, some people may not like it, but this is the facts, and even if one person takes a positive spin on it, that's what matters.
Awesome, thank you. How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the local community?
It, let's say morning show is a little bit different because compared to like other day parts, morning show is kind of like a recap of the night before and kind of shaping out what the day is. So I would say how it shapes the community is kind of like there's like several, like what they can look for on whether weekends or possibly um, how can they start their day with us to know, what's the latest they need to know. Is there something that's happening today, like a giveaway or like a health clinic that they need to go to, something to help them out. So kind of helping shape like what their day will look like. Not always the case, but just to give them that, you know, in case they're missing something, it's that little nugget like, oh, I remember on the news that somebody was giving out, vouchers for something. So that trying to get them just get something out of watching TV. Basically, that's what I hope the community takes from it.
I was also able to speak with digital content producer and social media specialist Andrea Cardin and learn about some of her personal successes within the news industry.
What is your role in contributing to the production of news?
I am a digital content producer slash social media expert here at the station. So I look for interesting content and I write it up for our website and I share it to social media, both Facebook, X, and YouTube. And I also work on a weekly uh, segment that is called Forgotten Friends, about trying to get a pet adopted that spent a long time in the shelter.
So, what is the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
For me, it's what I just talked about, Forgotten Friends. Having to write up so much death, destruction, crime, all of that, it kind of drains you. And so every week I get to work on a really, heartfelt story about a pet that's spent a long time at the shelter. And so far, out of 118 stories that I've written, 110 of them have been adopted.
That's
So I've made a
amazing.
difference, and that
Yeah.
makes me feel good. I feel like I'm giving back to the community.
How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the local community?
Getting unwanted pets adopted.
Yeah, for sure.
And finding things that people are interested in and getting them talking about it on social media. Finding stories from across the country, not just San Antonio, but across the country, and getting people more interested in what's happening in the United States and not just here in town. Also, a lot of our reporters work on stories that maybe there's a GoFundMe to help the victim of a crime or whatever. And I like to make graphics and try to get people to help these people. And we've made a huge difference in a lot of people's lives as a result of that. Most recently, one of our reporters did a story about a woman whose windshield was shattered because somebody threw a rock off the overpass. She lost work because of it. She couldn't drive, and she only had liability insurance, so she couldn't get her car fixed. So I made this graphic, and within an hour, her goal was met.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
It made a huge difference. So the impact you can have through social media and through a story on our website is just huge. And that's a good feeling to make a difference.
Have you ever wondered how the news receives information so fast? Well, I spoke with assignments editor Danny Martinez to find out more about how this process is accomplished.
What is your name and role in contributing to the production of news?
My name is Danny Martinez, and my role here is what they call an assignments editor. An assignments editor is like a traffic officer, controlling all that comes in, landline calls, complaints, listen to all the scanners. We have multiple scanners from the police, the fire, EMS, surrounding counties. We gather that information. And once we gather that information, our role is more importantly is to confirm and verify this information before we pass it on onto teams. We call it on our app system here. We send it off to all the producers, the managing team, the reporters, the photographers, and digital platform teams. We confirm details on an incident that may have occurred, a drive-by shooting, a fatality, a structure fire, gather all the elements, gather all the information, attach it to that, and send it out once it's been confirmed. And then afterwards, we look to find a crew who's available, and we send a crew to cover this breaking news story. That is what we do, among other things. That we get press releases, and we get thousands of press releases on a weekly basis here on the assignments desk. And it's our job to make sure that they go in the rightful place for the specific time, the date, the location, and more importantly, if we have added information, it's our responsibility to reach out and garnish more details about the who, what, when, where, why of a story, which is the elements of a great story. Those are the ingredients, the who, what, when, where, why, and most importantly, compelling. How is this story going to make me want to watch your story? And why is your story more important than the other guy's story across the platforms? Again, find that person, the individual that it's impacting, and turn that story about him or her or their family. Those are the stories that are going to sell more than anything because they're going to be unique, compelling, and interesting and powerful.
Yes, sir. Thank you. What is the most rewarding part of being part of a news team?
Well, as I shared earlier, I'm going to back up a bit. The compelling part is knowing that my job and what I do here helps build what we're working on a day-to-day occurrence. The rewarding part is most simple because it goes back to when I first started years ago. I got into this industry, more importantly, is to help the people that were on the other side. There's always a bridge. It's the us and the them and the bridge. The media is the bridge to get from point A to point B. And my role, and I feel that if I can help a family find a solution for their problems, and their solution has been addressed, and the result has been completed and met. My job has been done. That is what I think is the most rewarding part of this business, is putting a smile like yours on that family and that little child that has been affected by something that happened in the community, and that we can help find a solution.
Thank you. How do you think the news you report influences or shapes the community?
It influences the community every single minute of the day, every week, every month. What we do is very instrumental. The job that we're in, it's not just a job, it's a skill. It's a skill set that needs to be addressed, needs to be looked at, and needs to take in with a good heart and an open mind, and always be attentive to the sights, the sounds of what's happening within your surroundings and your community. Helping out, helping out a family, helping out an individual, helping out an organization is powerful. We are the the media, we are a powerful group of individuals all over the United States and all over the world that brings forth realities and brings forth solutions for the problems that are not solved. Yeah.
Great Day Essay is a unique segment of Ken's Five that highlights the unique culture, trends, and community of San Antonio. Ken's Fives gives a voice to the people of San Antonio straight from the source.
Great Day SA is so representative of the type of love that Ken's Five has for the community. Great Day SA gives the people of San Antonio a chance to demonstrate their talents, passions, and things they wish to make a difference in. The media is so important in the endeavor to keep connections alive. In the modern age of technology, we are all connected through the internet and can reach people from across the world. However, it is so important to maintain the local support of a community, and Ken's Five provides that connection through Great Day SA. Neighbor reaching neighbor, friend reaching friend. How much more connected can you get than that?
Ken's Five is so special in its value of serving the community. The love for the city of San Antonio is so prevalent in every role at Ken's Five. From the journalists to the photographers to the producers and anchors, every person here at Ken's Five is so dedicated to playing the role of bettering the community. So, next time you are flipping through channels and see the evening news is on, give a thought of appreciation to the team that made it possible. True to their mission statement at Ken's Five, we put the people first.